Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new Pokemon TCG video. Today guys, we're going to be ranking all of the VMAX Pokemon within the brand new Sword and Shield set. Now, it's coming out in February 7th of 2020, and however, this set is going to be a little bit smaller, and there's only going to be 4 VMAX Pokemon. In the past, I've ranked all the tag teams, but the tag teams we usually have gotten up to 9 to 8 of them, and only 4 of them is like less than half of that. So I'm actually going to rank all the 4 VMAX Pokemon we're going to be getting, and then on top of that, I'm going to be doing a top 5 video within the ranking video of the top 5 V Pokemon that are also going to be ranked. So the normal V cards will also be ranked in this video, just only 5 of the best ones, not all of them. There's 15 of them, so I'm going to be taking 5 of those and ranking them. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like. These ranking videos do really well on the channel. You guys really do seem to enjoy me ranking the big, special cards in the set. So if you guys want to show your support, leave a like in the video. And also check out our sponsor, Card Caravan TCG, down below too. If you get anything from Card Caravan, get any PCGO codes from there, use code LDF for the checkout for a 5% discount on your purchase. And without further ado, guys, let's just get into the ranking, starting with the VMAXs, and then we're going to get into the top 5 V Pokemon. Alright guys, starting off at the 4th ranking here of the VMAX cards, we have Morpeko VMAX. Now, this card itself is pretty much just a substandard card. There's nothing really much going on here. It's got 300 HP, so at least it is very bulky, but at the same time, its attack is pretty underwhelming. It's technically a Stage 1 Pokemon, and its attack for 2 lightnings and a colorless does 180 and then 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So there are some decent things this card does have going for it. It being a lightning type means it does actually have a fair amount of partners through Pikarom, Tapu Koko Prism Star, Thunder Mountain, and of course Electro Power, which actually does give this card a pretty good damage boost. Electro Power will allow this card to actually potentially take out multiple just regular V Pokemon. And doing 20 damage to your opponent's bench is fine, but 20 damage is not a whole lot in all honesty. It's just a pretty mediocre card, and even though it has a lot of support, I actually think the regular version of the Morpeko V might actually be better than Morpeko VMAX. That is how bad this card is. I mean, it's not like the worst card ever printed, but it's just not really cutting it. I mean, I would rather just use Pikarom over this card if I were to use it. Again, 180 damage is fine. It can hit numbers with Electro Power, thankfully. But even with the support that it has, I still think this card is still kind of weak and just not cutting it. But it's not the worst card ever. I think it's still like average, but I just don't think it's like that great. Anyways, let's move on to the next ranking at number 3. And next up, guys, at our number 3 ranking for the 4 VMAX cards is going to be Stonjourner V. Now, this card is actually pretty good. This is like the first like VMAX card that I think will actually see play. The next 3 VMAX cards with this card included, I think are all cards that are probably going to see play in this format. Now, Stonjourner has 330 HP, so it's a very bulky card, and its 2 attacks are pretty good. So you got its first attack here, which is one of the things I like about it. For a Fight Energy, you can attach Fire Energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon and then heal 120 damage from that Pokemon. So the whole idea with this card is it will self-power itself up. You're going to use its first attack, heal 120 damage. If you combine this card with the other healing cards like Mallow and Lana and even Mixed Herbs, you're just potentially healing all the damage that this card takes. Like if you Mallow Lana and do its first attack in one turn, you're healing 240 damage, which most of the time is going to heal like all the damage. Like even like a Reshizard would only be doing 230. So it can actually heal most of the damage, and then you build up for its 200 damage attack. Now, one of the nice things about this card, you have cards like Dynasty Prism Star, Fighting Dojo, and you also have Karate Belt to make this card work even better. And it's also a fighting type, which means it can actually deal with the brand new Snorlax VMAX card we're going to be getting in this set. So it has some pretty good qualities. I think its typing is kind of relevant. And I think that it is a pretty good tanking card with Mallow and Lana, and also it has some good damage boosters. So yeah, Stonjourner V I think is a great card, and I think we'll actually see play. It could be a very annoying card to deal with because it's like impossible to knock out when it's just healing so much damage. So yeah, great card, and it's going to be really good with Mallow and Lana. And yeah, it comes in at a number 3 spot. Alright guys, next up at our number 2 spot, I've gone with Lapras VMAX here. So Lapras VMAX is good. Now, much like Stonjourner, it's got a lot of HP. It's got 320 HP, so it's pretty bulky once again. And this card actually does evolve from a pretty good Lapras card too. Lapras V is also a pretty solid card, and I think Lapras V goes really well with Lapras VMAX. Now, literally the only reason why this card is so good is because we are going to be getting a brand new card called Frost Moth, which is a Stage 1 Pokemon with the Rain Dance ability from Blastoise with Deluge. So it's an insanely good card. Now, it only works on the bench. However, Lapras V puts itself on the bench with its attack. You also just run a lot of switches and Mal and Lanas, and you don't have to worry about it even, having to be in the active to attach the energy to it. So it's just a very good card with Frost Moth. It's a great combo. It's a water type, so you're going to be able to deal with all those big fire types like Blacephalon and Reshizard and Breakzard. So you have good typing. You have a great partner with Frost Moth. You have a good V Pokemon with Lapras V, and your attack has no limits. You can just put like 10 energy on this thing, and you'll just one-shot everything in your path. You're going to do 180 damage for 3 waters, and again, if you just keep stacking water energies on Lapras VMAX, you're eventually just going to one-shot everything in your way, even other VMAX cards. So yeah, there's just so many good things about this card. Its worst attribute, I think, is that lightning weakness opens the door to Pikarom, potentially the other VMAX we just talked about earlier, and even possibly the new Tapu Koko V, which I think is also another good V card. So it does have its weakness, but at the same time, it has a lot of good attributes, and that's why Lapras VMAX comes in at our number 2 spot. And finally, guys, last but not least, the number 1 ranked VMAX card in Sword and Shield, in my opinion, is going to be Snorlax VMAX. I mean, what else was it going to be, right? There's only 4 cards. And yeah, Snorlax VMAX is a very powerful card. I think the main thing I like about it is the fact that it has, like, everything about it is just good. That's, like, what I'm going to say. So for starters, it's got the most amount of HP for any Pokemon in the entire game. It's got 340 HP. Now, you might think that's OP. However, this thing's retreat cost of 4 allows you to play Buff Padding, and then this card goes to 390 HP. And I think you can play a Aspertia City Gym and expand it too, which would mean this card would have over 400 HP, which is, just a little crazy. So definitely a bit of a power creep of a card, a 340 HP card. So the HP alone honestly makes this card good, but its attack is also incredible. G-Max fall to 60 and does 30 more damage for each of your bench Pokemon. Of course, if you have a full bench of 5 Pokemon, this attack does 210 damage in total, which is insane. A full bench, you do 210 damage for 3 energy. The fact this card, I think, works with triple energy and also can work with Welder and DCE and Expanded is just ridiculous. And speaking of Expanded, when this card goes into Expanded, of course, you're going to have Skyfield, which means G-Max fall, I think, does 300 damage with a full bench, which is just insane. This is just an insane card is like the best way to describe it. It's just a literal insane card. It's got so much HP. The fighting weakness, I do think, is pretty underwhelming because there's not really the most amazing fighting types out right now, other than, of course, that Stonjourner we just talked about. There might be other stuff like Aerodactyl and Rampardos, and maybe Zygarde GX. Now, of course, in Expanded, there's Lycanroc GX and Buzzwole GX, which are also threats to this card. But I think overall, this card is just insane. I can see this card seeing play with, like, Buff Padding. Even Shedinja could be OP. A 340 HP Pokemon that only gives up 2 prizes with Shedinja is a little ridiculous to think about. So yeah, Snorlax VMAX, I put at the number 1 spot. I think it is the best VMAX in the entire set. I think it's going to see a lot of play. It's definitely going to make fighting types a lot better, but at the same time, it's just such a good card. It's got such a strong attack. It's got so much HP. It's ridiculous. And yeah, see how short that was? There's only 4 VMAX. There's a Meowth VMAX too that's going to be its own like promo card. The card is pretty bad. If I were to rank that Meowth VMAX, it would be at the very bottom of the ranking. It is not a good card. But yeah, we're going to rank the top 5 best V cards now. Alright guys, starting off with our V ranking here, I'm going to put Indeedee V on the number 5 ranking here. I think this card is solid. The thing that I like about it the most is its attack Psychic. It does 10 plus 60 more damage for each energy on your opponent's active Pokemon. So essentially this card is going to one-shot a lot of things. It's also weak to Dark, so it's not weak to Psychic, which is relevant. Dark types aren't that great right now in Standard outside of Dark Box, so you don't really have that bad of a weakness. I guess like Spiritomb can hunt you down too, I guess. But overall, its weakness is not the end of the world. There's not many decks that have answers to this. And Psychic's good in a format where Pokemon do have a lot of energy on them. Like, you gotta think, even the new Lapras VMAX will come out. This could be a great counter to it. A Psychic and 2 energies, and you're one-shotting quite a bit of Pokemon, because you're doing a lot of damage. Because most Pokemon will have, like, 4 or 3 energies on them, and you're doing a whopping amount of damage. And that's why I put Indeedee V at number 5. It's also a great Mewtwo Slayer, and even its ability can come in handy, too. If you have, like, I think 4 of these in play, you can heal 80, which is nuts. So yeah, I've put Indeedee V here at a number 5 ranking. Alright, next up, guys, is going to be Tapu Koko V. This is a great card for these Pika-ROM decks. Now, Pika-ROM right now in our current Standard format is not very good anymore. It's not as good as it once was. It's not seeing much play. and I think Tapu Koko V might revive it. For starters, it is a 200 HP basic Pokemon. It is not a GX, which is relevant, and also its attack is pretty good. So you got Spike Draw, 1 for 20, and then you got Thunder's Bolt doing 3 for 200, and 200 damage is a lot of damage. And again, if we combo it with Electro Powers, we're one-shotting other V Pokemon. We're almost one-shotting normal tag team Pokemon like Mega Lopunny, Jigglypuff. Not only that, this card is an anti-Mega Lopunny Jigglypuff card too, so this might actually make Pikarom better now thanks to this card alone. And like the Morpeko, it does have all of the traits of lightning types with Electro Power, Tapu Koko Prism, Pikarom, Zeraora GX, and of course Thunder Mountain. And I think this card is great. I think this card is super good with Electro Power. This is another good card, and I think it's going to make Pikarom a lot stronger now. So yeah, that's why I put Tapu Koko V at number 4. I think it's a nice card. Alright guys, and coming in at the number 3rd ranking in the Pokemon V section, I've actually gone with Lapras V. Now, this is a great card for Lapras VMAX, and as I stated before, these two cards play really well together. The nice thing about Lapras V is its first attack will allow you to attach water from your hand to this Pokemon, and then you can switch it to your bench. So you're protected from the active spot, you force your opponent to gust it up. And you also put it on the bench so that you can then power it up through Frostmoth's ability. So it's just such great synergy there. And its other attack is good too, 4 for 120, and then you return 2 waters from your hand to this Pokemon. Doing a 210 is good. 210 will allow you to knock out, of course, other V Pokemon. So you have a really nice attacker for the Lapras VMAX deck that evolves in a Lapras VMAX. So I just think this is a nice card for that deck. Being able to do a 210 to knock out a V Pokemon is good, and being able to synergize really well with Frostmoth is great. And that's why I put Lapras V here at the 3rd ranking spot, because I think it's another nice card. And yeah, moving on to our top 2 now, which they're very identical cards. You probably already know what they both are. And guys, coming at the number 2 ranking spot, I've actually gone with Zamazenza B. Now, this card is great. One of the things about it is its synergy with Zation V. Both cards are very good, and they both synergize well together. Now, this card itself has an amazing ability with Dauntless Shield, which prevents all damage on this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's VMAX Pokemon. Now, when this set comes out, of course, there's not going to be that many VMAXs, there's only 4, and while VMAXs will be seeing quite a bit of play and they'll be very good, Zamazenza here won't be as good as it will be when we get more Sword and Shield sets, because the more Sword and Shield sets we get in the future, the more VMAX Pokemon we're getting. We're probably going to be getting bigger sets with bigger VMAX Pokemon lineups than, just having 4. So this card will get better over time, and I still put it here on number 2 because it's still got a great ability. It combos really well with Zation V, and the attack Assault Tackle allows you to discard special energy from your opponent's active. It's not the most amazing attack ever, but you know what, it gets the job done. There are some good special energies like Unit Energy, and of course the new Aura Energy that's coming out. So overall, it's a pretty good card, and definitely will see play, and over time this card will start seeing even more play when more VMAX Pokemon come out. And coming in at number 1 spot, guys, in my opinion, the best V Pokemon in the set is going to be Zation V. So this card is great. Metal types are getting a lot of support in this set thanks to Metal Saucer. Of course, we have Metal Frying Pan. And now we have this card here, Zation V. So it's a 220 HP basic Pokemon, and it's got the ability Intrepid Sword, where when you, once your turn, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and attach any number of metals you find there to this Pokemon. If you do this ability, your turn ends, but you also get to put the other cards in your hand. So this ability literally lets you draw 3 cards for free, and you also can self-power yourself up, which is very, very good. And the attack Brave Blade can do 230 damage, which is also very good. That's solid numbers. 230 will knock out most other V Pokemon, and it's just a good card. And it combos really well with Zamazenza, because Zamazenza can be used for the VMAXs, and then you use Zation for the V Pokemon. So you have some really good synergy there. And I think this card is great with Metal Frying Pan. It has no weakness, so you don't have to worry about being weak to fire. That's the same thing with Zamazenza, but this card will be more useful in the Reshizard matchup anyways, because it does more damage. So it's just a nice card, and I do think that it is definitely the best V Pokemon in the set. Zation V is my boy, and he definitely deserves the crown as the best V Pokemon in the base set of Sword and Shield. Quick honorable mentions I want to say is going to go to Sableye V and Wobbuffet V. They're both pretty good cards too. They would have been number 6 and number 7 respectively. And that is going to be it for today's PTCGO ranking, or well, PTCGO's open in the background, but this is going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, we didn't really get that many VMAX Pokemon this set, so just ranking all the VMAXs would not have been very good. So I just thought throwing in this little top 5 V Pokemon really briefly was another nice way to add a bit of a touch to the video. The V Pokemon are really good. It's a new mechanic. Would make sense instead of just making 2 separate videos on them. Let's put them all into one. And if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like on it. Again, these videos do very well on my channel, so if we can get over 100 likes again, like on the other videos, that would mean a lot to me. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know down below what your favorite V and VMAX Pokemon in these set are, and I'll see you guys on the video. Check out the sponsored card card and TCG down below too. As always, use code LDF, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.